and just like the policeman who was killed last week with his cutlass.
Yeah,
was so gory.
Mr. Bondi
was so gory that and you know, coming on the back of the Admiral in Lagos, the kidnappings and so on and so forth. Sheriff, we are not living in a normal country. And I think the earlier we come to that reality, the better it will be for us. I still see from our behavior, a lot of us are in denial. What is staring me in the face, as far as the Southeast is concerned, what is staring me in the face is, as young as I was in 67, the fear of an all-out war coming on in that region. And I hope it never happens. But the what you can see from the kind of ammunition that individuals carrying out these nefarious, and you don't have a record of how many of them are flying around, the security situation in the East is dismal. And unless the federal government and the people of the Southeast quickly get together and challenge what seems to be the boogie that seems to be coming up, we're in for a hard time.
Right.
Now, again, because I'm very, very open-minded, I can't ascribe the death of that man to anybody. After all, when like somebody called in this morning to your program, Funshaw Williams, Bola Ige, as we speak, we don't know who actually killed them. Sometimes you find that if somebody is exposed and there's an issue around him, sometimes you find that it provides cover for people who are not related in that manner to carry out their nefarious activities. Dr. Akinwuyi's, it could have been over land, it could have been over promotion, it could have been over anything.
Could have been anything.
Yes. So I'm not going to immediately ascribe it to IPOB or any, you know. In any case, IPOB, they denied that they had absolutely
anything to do with it.
And at face value, I don't know why he would be a target of IPOB anyway.
Exactly.
But having said that, this thing is going to spread. And the earlier, I'm going to keep preaching again, just like I did with vaccination, that we need to change our attitudes to the way we run our lives in this country. You still find that people are in denial as to the severity of the security challenges that we have. The story says that fear spreads in Southeast as hoodlums murder Akinwuyi's husband and 8 others. Okay, Ohaneze says that they should fish out Akinwuyi's killers. They challenge the police to do so. I doubt if the police have the capacity to do so, because all high, you had Bola Ige, you had Funshaw Williams, the late Delegua from way back. I'm not too sure we have the capacity at solving these murders and bringing out the real culprits. But the president has reacted very quickly, and he says he feels deep sadness over Akinwuyi's death. And Femi Adesina says that the president shares the pain of the offspring of Professor and Dr. Akinwuyi, their families and friends, whose lives will never remain the same after the Human and Reprehensible Act. I would like to advise Adesina that he shouldn't be reporting the president in matters like this. Let the president say it himself. Let a statement like this at a time like this, let it be signed personally by not a statement that you would sign. Because it's a very touchy issue. And it's high net worth issue. So it's something that the president should say. In fact, if anything, a recorded message wouldn't be excessive. So I'd like to tell Mr. Adesina, with all due respect, that don't report what the president has said at times like this. Let the president say it. Okay? Let the president sign the statement. Of course, you can draft it for him, but let him sign the statement. And he enjoins security agencies and leaders of thought to work harder and so on and so forth. That is that. Obiano has put a 20 million bounty. 20 million naira. Sorry, I forgot to add the naira there. And this story here says that count us out of Akinwuyi's death, says IPOB. The media and publicity secretary of IPOB, Emma Powerful, said in a statement, "We wish to disassociate ourselves from the senseless killing of innocent citizens in Anambra State. We have no hands in the political killings. Now that is key. The political killings. We have no hands in the political killings going on in Biafra land. We have several times raised the alarm that some cruel politicians are hiding under the cloak of and so on and so forth. The DSS also had to issue a denial because apparently something went viral accusing the DSS, and a statement says that the president. No, sorry, my eyes have gone back to the president's statement. It says the statement says DSS denies allegation of killing Dr. Chika Akunyili, and it was signed by Afunaya, who is his spokesperson. In the story here, somewhere here, the Punch writer refers to the DSS as the secret police. The DSS is not a secret police. Newspapers were supposed to educate young people and people alike. The DSS is not a secret police. It could be a secret organization, but it's not. You can't refer to them as a secret police. All said and done, the family of Akunyili, we sympathize with them. Probably in the next few days, we'll get to know what actually went down in that place. But also for you to know that not just him, his driver went down, his orderly went down. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen to that. Let's go to page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. Presidency, Northern governors worsening insecurity, heating up polity. NLC speaking.
Yeah, okay. Now the NLC wants to be an arbiter between these two warring groups, like I would say. But El-Rufai is a bit right. El-Rufai is right. We must learn how to play politics. We must learn how to play politics. I'm talking of the South. I'm a Southerner, I can't deny that. And we must learn how to play politics. And politics essentially should be about jaw, not war. So it says that let me read this. So the NLC. Oh, sorry, I'm mixing this up with the El-Rufai story that I read this morning. But the NLC said that the ongoing fight between the South and Northern governors, on which zone should was worsening insecurity in the country and heating up the politics. The two of them have to sheath their swords. It's all about jaw. Luckily, our constitution doesn't insist that we rotate. We just do it by agreement, and we should find rather than, because we have enough security challenges as we speak to now add going towards 2023. Threats and all kinds of things to what the current situation on ground is not going to do anybody any good. But I'm sure you're wondering how El-Rufai's case came in. I think I read the story somewhere this morning where he advised, and he said that, look, instead of playing to the gallery, come, let us discuss.
Right.
You have to discuss. Once it is not your right, you have to discuss. And discuss they should. And discuss they would. The question is, for those of us who are not governors of South or North or whatever it is, what are we doing? How prepared are we, for the oncoming election? Your guess is as good as mine.
Exactly. Everybody needs to get ready. The second phase of the continuous voter registration will start October 4. That's next Monday. So once it starts, go out and get registered. If you got some irregularities in your biodata, go and update it. So get ready.
How easy is it to get registered? I'd like to know.
It's quite easy. You will have to start online. From the website.
Does the portal come up?
Yeah, it does come up.
Because what you do find in most public things like this is the portal just won't come up.
It does.
You'll be struggling.
It does.
It'd be nice for you to have one day people call in and tell you their experiences.
Yeah. Okay.
Thursday.
That would be nice.
I think Thursday. I listened to you this morning. One Thursday.
That's good. That's good. Let's stay with the Vanguard, page 12 this time. 2023, electronic voting and transmission of results, way to go. Jonathan.
I was highly critical of President Jonathan towards the end of his government, of his tenure in government, because I felt he wasn't handling the issues of state satisfactorily. But over time, I now see that Nigeria has an elder statesman in President Jonathan. Not that I'm encouraging him to go contest again. That's not the issue here. But his disposition as a past president is very encouraging. And even though in the heat of the elections some years back, when he was a candidate and he immediately admitted defeat, I tried to write it off that he had no choice. I'm beginning to see that in this man we have a statesman who can bring peace and stability to this country. And therefore I pay him that honor this morning without reservations. And I'm not going to join any debate. Those of you who said that I was so much against him can have a field day. I leave that to you. But there is a difference between being a statesman and having the ability to run a country effectively. They're totally different.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. So, but I like the way he's going. He delivered a speech somewhere, a lecture of Course 30, National Defense College, titled Human Security and National Development. And he said, if we as a nation truly desire to secure the credibility and integrity of our elections, if we truly desire to deepen the roots of democracy in our land, we should not seek to reverse the progress already recorded by INEC in application of modern tools in the conduct of elections, but aim to improve the processes in the light of new technology. It is difficult, therefore, to understand why the argument against the possibility of electronic transmission of election results continues to subsist, despite all the advancements made in information and communication technology over the years. So he is for electronic voting and transmission results. And I seem to align with that kind of argument. Let's be civilized, for God's sake. We can't continue under the excuse of, a large number of our people are not educated.
Yeah.
They're not educated. They might not be able to read and write, but they are not daft. I mean, they use phones. A lot of them use... I tell you one thing, though.
Yeah.
This is just a quick aside. The number of 1-year-olds that I get reported to me who can handle this device is amazing.
Yep.
It is amazing, Sheriff. 2-year-olds, you put a phone in their hands, they go straight to YouTube and they know where to look for the Muppet Show and whatever. It's amazing. But that's just an aside. But that excuse will not hold water. Of course, we all know the reasons why a lot of our politicians don't want electronic voting. But here is a man of honor who says that, look, and he's run for election and won before. And in fact, he has a record of having won and lost.
That's right.
He won one election, he lost one. You don't have that kind of record too many times. And he's saying that, look, electronic voting is the way to go. I think Nigerians should listen to him. I pay homage to Dr. Jonathan this morning. I remember the first day I met Ruben Abati. He almost caught me in two in Abeokuta. This is the man that gave us the greatest problem.
Let's go back to the Punch newspaper. I'm on page 12 of the Punch now. It's time for generational change, says Yahaya Bello.
Yes, I think it is quite clear that Yahaya Bello wants to run for, or intends to run for presidency. It's left for Nigerians to decide whatever. And he's going to run on the ride of generational change, being a young person, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I've never met him, I can't go by reports of what I read in the media. What I read in the media hasn't been too encouraging. And for a man, a chief executive of a state, for example, to say that he doesn't believe that there is COVID and probably doesn't believe in vaccinations, I'm a bit skeptical about that kind of person. But well, that's who he is. But that's not the story. That's not what intrigued me. Let me read the part that got me worked up this morning. It said that Kogi governor has said it's time for younger generation to take power. Fair enough. According to him, since some elders have tried their best for Nigeria and some have also failed, it was time the youth take over. Fair enough. I think he's in his 40s. This is the paragraph that got me very worried. Bello said this during a courtesy call on him by executive members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors led by its president, Mustafa Issa. Now, if they are not part of the plan, the guys have worked themselves into a minefield, the Guild of Editors. And I'd like to call on them to stop this habit of courtesy calls and so on and so forth. It is ridden with all kinds of innuendos and insinuations that doesn't do the practice of journalism well. And we need to, if we're highly critical of other areas, we will also be highly critical of our own selves. It is not the way to go. As journalists, you have no business playing courtesy calls on anybody, especially politicians. They will use you, dump you, and mess you up.
That's right.
And I'm not saying that anything untoward happened. No. But I would have expected the Guild of Editors, as experienced as these are editors, to have been experienced enough to know that, look, if we go on this kind of visit, the insinuations that will come out of it, more so when you know this gentleman is going to run for the presidency, you shouldn't be paying him. If you want, let's even assume that somebody wants to use his influence to do some PR for him. And so, let him be the one paying the courtesy calls elsewhere. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you hear that, as soon as an alarm just went up in my head, bang, I'm like, why should the Guild of Editors be paying courtesy call? On this, we need to save this country, and one of the areas to start and deal with very quickly is the media. Because the media is the habitat. The media is in between. They are the ones who are supposed to tell you the truth and so on and so forth. Once that is compromised, then we have a larger problem that we can imagine. So I would respectfully call on our Gapatapatas in the Guild of Editors, please let us stop this habit very quickly. Let the elders, the Shekwa Shobas, quickly wade in and stop this habit of having editors going on courtesy calls and so on and so forth. It's reading with all kinds of innuendos, and that doesn't do the profession any good. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm not saying people will come up with an argument that the usual argument is anybody is free to go anywhere. If that's the kind of society you want to run, I'm not going to be a part of that. But so respectfully, I call on Mr. President Mustafa Issa. These courtesy calls don't.
And Mustafa Issa is quite vocal. He's being very, very.
That is more reason why he shouldn't. It's like saying that I want to go and pay a courtesy call on a governor. If I have a reason to go there, it's fine. I'm not saying keep them away. But when you now hear things like courtesy call, for what? What for? I don't understand that.
I feel it's unnecessary.
It's completely unnecessary, and you must look at everything in its totality. The insinuations that will come out from this kind of courtesy call is better imagined, and you know what I'm talking about. And it might not have taken place.
That's true.
I think that they should have applied a bit more discretion. If you want to host him to Guild of Editors,
whatever you want to
call it, you can arrange that in an open area for everybody to see. If you want a debate between the aspirants and so on and so forth, fine. But this idea of courtesy call, the intention might be very good, or having said that, but the effect is that it raises an eyebrow, which the press does not need at this time.
We're going to stick with the Vanguard newspaper, page 13 now. Anambra Guba, police to deploy 6 helicopters.
I don't know what the helicopters are going to do. But the problem in the elections are coming up in Anambra State, I think November 6th, which is just around the corner. By the way, Andy Uba again for the umpteenth time is going to run. In fact, his named one gentleman called Ogene as his media director. I think this is about his 3rd or 4th attempt, but that's not the issue. The issue this morning is for the Anambra people. And what I want to say is that boycott of elections is the worst strategy you can apply. History has told us that, because you see, even if the elections, even if all the INEC officials are out there and nobody goes to vote, if it's just 2 votes or whatever it is, once it meets the statutory requirement, you have a leader that you didn't vote for. So I like to alert, the Anambrians to that fact that boycotting elections doesn't mean you won't have results. And in any case, you know that politicians are always ready to fill that void.
That's right.
The less of you that come out, the more they can pump the votes.
Ever ready.
Ever ready. So my advice is, and also to IPOB, is let the people determine their leaders. And let the people determine their leaders. Don't say that you won't vote. Even if you have Biafra, you still have to vote for your leaders anyway. So maybe this is the time for you to do. And I would have thought that IPOB would put up a candidate. They're not a political party, but they can easily use they can hire enough of the parties that we have. How many parties do we have now? About 3,000 or so. No, I'm joking. It's not that much. But you can hire any of the parties. I would have thought that IPOB would rather than sit at home at this time, would be backing a candidate and saying that, yes, if we can get this guy in, then our dream to achieve Biafra becomes stronger because we then have a governor at hand. So that's the way to go, not just by boycotting, but it's like they sit at home every Monday. It's the people that are punished. They are the ones who record the losses. So I'd like to appeal to IPOB to think again. I don't know, it's a bit late for them now to support a candidate, but that's what they probably should have done all along. Had the candidate put him up as a candidate and let people vote him in. It would be nice, for example, I don't know what state Nnamdi Kanu is from, if he's put forward as a candidate. And then we will see. Okay? Yeah. And I'm sure if he's put up as a candidate in a state, I have a very strong feeling he might jolly well win. Then he will have immunity. You have to release him. Is that how it works?
Once he's governor.
But you can't swear in a governor in prison.
Oh. Okay.
Let's fiddle with this idea.
No, but listen, he's not in prison.
He's in detention.
Yeah, he's in detention.
Yeah. So let's assume. Let's just play the devil. Let's play a game this morning. Let's assume that I think he's from Imo. I think he's from Imo. Okay, let's assume that he's from Imo. Now we put his name forward.
Yeah. Through
one of the parties. Nnamdi Kanu is a candidate. He doesn't need to campaign. He has campaigned already.
Yeah.
And then he wins.
So if he wins, what then happens?
Before he can key into immunity, he has to be sworn in.
Yes, he has to take the oath of office.
So you might get a court order that this man that is standing trial needs to come out and be sworn in. And then he has immunity. You see, in protesting, we must think of various ways.
This is quite strategic, though.
Yes, we must think of various ways we can do certain things. At the very least, I expected IPOB to have candidates in all the.
But that's the thing. IPOB is not interested.
Well, you see, even if you are going to have a Biafra, surely in Biafra you are going to have elections.
Yes, you will have elections.
Now, do you know how good it would be, for example, if you had a senator or a governor who would be pro-IPOB, an IPOB sympathizer? It helps their cause. What we need to understand with things like this is it is never a 100 years dash. It is always a marathon. But we need to be very, very strategic in our thinking and not just follow the flow that other people have followed. Well, that was a nice exercise this morning.
Yeah, it was.
You woke me up.
It was. Can we take one last story? Let's see if we can squeeze this one. Transparency Africa confers Integrity Award on Victor Hammond.
Yes, I'd like to celebrate Mr. Victor Hammond. Transparency Africa is quite recognized. And, well, of course, you know my feelings about most of these awards, really. Most of them are generally commercial initiatives. Let me put it that way. They're enterprises. But today we have Transparency Africa, a global initiative, and they're honoring our own Victor Hammond. This is the Chief Executive Officer of Bankers Warehouse for his character of accountability and integrity. So, congratulations, Mr. Hammond. A beer on you whenever we meet.
Okay. Now we have to go. Our show is done for today.
Good.
What's coming up at 9?
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
I hope he's here. Is he here, Philip? There's a retired ASP who has been struggling and battling to get his gratuity and pension. So we're going to highlight his case this morning. I hope he doesn't develop cold feet. As yesterday they said it was still coming.
Okay.
I hope nobody has gone to.
That should be really interesting.
I hope nobody has gone to waylay him on the road.
No.
Nigeria is a tough country now.
Let's go now, Jimmy. Thank you for coming.
God bless.
Thank you, Lagos. Let's go to break. When we return, we have the news for you. After the news, we'll go into the crossfire proper this morning. Good morning to you.
They say if you want to go fast, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our